Hello, everybody. Ivor Chester, music therapist and life coach. We're going to try this again. We're going to talk about earworms. Do you get earworms? I do. And fairly recently, I've gotten the reasons why. And now that I understand why I get them, I'm able to manage them. And I'm going to share that with you. First of all, the why of earworms. Earworms are a response from the brain when it's idling. It's like it has this default little thing that happens, and it's normally music that's playing. Also, by the way, can be words. If you just have a word just pop up and just keeps playing in your mind and loops, kind of a Mobius loop. If this loop happens over and over and over again, it's because the mind is idling and it's looking for something to do. By the way, women get them more so, as well as OCD or ADHD people, which accounts for as to why I get them. I have ADHD. So it's a thing where your mind's going, well, I'm not doing anything. Oh, here's a song. I just heard it. And you really like this song, but it only plays a part of it, like half the chorus and a little bit of the verse, and then it goes back and it finds this phraseology with it where it just repeats and repeats, and you're just going, what? And over. And it's you don't notice it at first. It kind of is after it's repeated itself, then you're going, oh gosh, I've got it. My earworms are Billy Don't Be a Hero right now, and I've got one today, thank you so much, is a Sousa March, the El Capitan. And gee, that's just wonderful. It makes me want to stomp around the house, upset the kids and the dogs, and it's, yeah. Also, Sousa marches are so great for relaxing. That's good. So, but yeah, Billy Don't Be a Hero is my normal earworm if I get it, because I really don't like that song. I didn't like it when it came out in the 70s. I especially dislike it now. I don't like its message. However, the earworms happen to us, and I've already listed the people that it does. But now, so how do you get rid of them? Okay, and it's really, there's a lot of really basic things. The first one that really struck me when I was doing some research on it was chew some gum. Get yourself a piece of gum and just chew it, and it gets a rhythm built in that you set. Remember, with music, if you're a person that really soaks in music, you set your own rhythms, the music all of a sudden becomes obedient to you. Chewing gum is one of those things. Like walking is one of those things. You go out and walk or jog or do repetitious exercises. When you're doing those things, you are setting your own rhythms. Chewing gum helps you to, hello Frank, welcome back. I appreciate your time. Thanks, man. But chewing gum is one of those things that helps you replace an external rhythm with your own rhythm. So that's important. I don't care what flavor. I prefer bazooka because I'm an old guy. When I was a kid down in Houston, there was a shopping center. My dad would take me to go get a butch haircut. And every once in a while when I'd ride by on my bicycle, the barber, his name was George, would toss me a couple of pieces of bazooka gum. He was great. And if I sat still during the barber's time with me with my haircut, he'd give me a piece of gum, which was a great incentive to a wiggly kid. So number two, you listen to the song. So in other words, you actually focus on the song. You find the song. If it's Billy Don't Be a Hero. Oh, and by the way, Tom Lauer, just want to say Midnight at the Oasis. There you go, pal. That's always a nice one. You go, so you sit down and you listen to Billy Don't Be a Hero. Now, again, that really takes work for me because I don't like that song. Earworms really don't have to be songs you don't like. They just have to be songs that your mind clicks into. I've noticed meditational songs don't stick in my head. And I listen to a lot of meditational and quiet ambient music. They never stick. What does stick is songs that have obvious hooks or emotional investment to them. So that's my own observation. Be aware of what you've got as an earworm. We'll get back to that. So sit down and deliberately listen to the song from beginning to end, and it could help it pass. Now that you get closure on it, you could put it aside and let it go. Listen to a different song. This is a 3-part one. Listen to just a different song, something totally different. That has some kind of emotional investment to it. Just listen to it from the start. Focus on it. Don't just put it on the background. You can eventually, but first sit down and listen to Joy to the World by Three Dog Night or whatever. The next one is to find somebody else to just sit and talk to. Get it out of your head. Focus your mind. Remember, we're talking about a mind that's set just at idle. Okay, you want to get off the idle and engage with somebody on something. And don't just make it too casual. Get kind of involved. Talk about, I don't know, Keanu Reeves or maybe politics with somebody who has the intellect to do it without getting their hackles too far up. Maybe listen to talk radio. But as I've said before, when it comes to talk radio, be very, very careful with talk radio because I used to be a big, heavy listener, a big investor in talk radio. It just did nothing but get my BP up. And they say things to get your hackles up, to get your BP up. So you tune in and you'll notice they'll sell you over the commercials as well. In other words, they'll say, when we get back, I'll tell you why that political party is doing that. And you're, I've got to stay and listen to this. And you'll stay in the car or whatever. But no, don't. You know what? The Democrats and the Republicans are going to continue doing the same things they always do, with or without you. So if you know what you're going to vote, get the information and skip the talk radio and move on. So here's a good one. Do a puzzle. My son right now is figuring out the concept of Rubik's Cube. And he obviously is too young for the 80s. So we're teaching him some of the patterns so he can start and do it himself because he's a thinker. But do a puzzle. I don't care what kind, but it could be everything from a jigsaw puzzle to one of these rote puzzles or some other kind of puzzle that just engages an idle mind. Here's one that doesn't work for me, and it's just called Let It Go. Look, I'm not much at Frozen, but I do understand that letting it go is not one of my best suits when it comes to something. When I get my hooks into something, I stick with it. So some of these other ones really work, like the puzzle or listening to the song and then being able to process it. But letting it go, what they mean by that is essentially to sit there and say, okay, I've heard the song enough. I need to move on and find something else. You'll notice what that really is, though. Engagement of the mind. You're making a purposeful decision. You're getting out of the subconscious into the conscious, which the conscious is the smaller part of your mind. And you are engaging it to where you can start taking control. Okay, so that's what I'm doing to help get me over this Sousa earworm I've got going on today and being able to move on. My request for you is I would like to hear what kind of earworms you get. What are the songs that stick in your head? Where did you get them? Okay, obviously, Billy Don't Be a Hero. I never bought the 45 or the album. I never tuned into videos to watch it. And it was just played commonly on the radio stations, K News and KVIL of the back in the old days. So where did you pick yours up? What kind of investment does it stick? And if it's not an earworm that's a song, do you have something else that sticks? I've also noticed that I pick up earworms when I'm not mentally sharp. In other words, if I'm too tired or if I'm sick, I can feel it coming on by hearing an earworm come into my head and start to overplay. And I have to make deliberate efforts. Okay? So tell me what your earworm is, maybe where you got it, and finally, how you get rid of it. All right? My name is Ivor Chester. You can pick me up here at Facebook, also at Instagram at IvorChester3, Twitter, same place. And please share this. This information needs to get out there because everybody's got these things going on, and we need to get it out of our heads so we can be more purposeful about the music we listen to. Remember, if you are not purposeful with your music, it's using you. All right? Many thanks. Hope to see you soon. Bye.